And hi, and welcome to Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and today I am here with OnlyFans content creator, TikTok creator, and live streamer, comedian, and pianist. Please welcome back my friend TwunkTheTwink. How you doing, Beb?
Horny, how are you?
Of course you are. Listen, this is one thing that I have to say, and now because everyone knows that you're above the age of 30, you can say this. You can say this. I wish somebody had given me like a fucking warning that like my sex drive was just gonna go crazy insane when I turn 30. And even my best friend who's like 31 now was like, yeah, it's like happened to me too. And I'm like, and you didn't fucking tell me? Like
It's
that's little
amazing though.
it's it's amazing, but it's like with that, the secret is to have the sex drive but look young. Because there are some people who look busted for 30. We're not saying names on here, but there are some people who look busted for 30. And it's like, damn. You can tell that you're a raver person. Because I had somebody on here at one point who was 32, and I thought, fuck, you look 40. Oh,
I'll be 30 soon. In 3 months, I'm 29.
you are not younger than me. Shut up.
It's
I love
crazy that I'm younger than you. I aspire
you
to
are
be
not
like you
you
when
are
I'm
not
older
younger than
too.
me. Stop saying that narrative, okay? This
I
bitch is
aspire
lying.
to be like you. You're a role model. Like, what do you mean? Love my elders.
This bitch is lying. This bitch is my sister's age. Like, but but I mean, it's honestly like you probably like. I will say this. I stopped. If you've noticed, I've stopped calling you old because the thing was once you got out of your relationship, you started looking younger. I
Really?
think, yeah, I honestly think that's like one of the things that you sort of. I would say it's because of you're not stressed and like stress changes to like age you because that was actually going into that. So like going into that, that's probably when they started when your most recent ex and you started like distancing yourselves from each other. That probably started to like in some ways I would say it probably annoyed you, right? Living in the same place with somebody that you
It
don't like
was horribly annoying.
because yeah, and then you start to resent them. If I'm putting words in your mouth, stop me. But it's like you start to resent them, and then I would say the one thing that like it was great to chat with you about was the fact that like you and I were going through stressful situations at the same time trying to leave, which for people who don't know, let's just say mm, I'll give the short version. My dad forced me to live in a house with a dog that tried to attack me every time I walked out of my room. That's it's honestly why. And when people talk about, I am going to come back to Florida at some point. Probably not anytime soon because I'm broke. But like, and when I do have money, it's going towards an album. That's, but yeah, I will. I will not be stopping in Jacksonville unless for some reason I have a plane that lands there. Literally, I love how you try and get people to come to Jacksonville. Nobody wants to come to Jacksonville.
When everyone in the group of live streamers is like, where should we meet up? And I'm like, oh, Jacksonville would be fun.
Nobody wants. Jacksonville is like the Indianapolis of Florida. Nobody wants to go there. Like
It's better than
Jacksonville is,
Everglades. I think we're a little above Everglades, Florida.
yes, but Jacksonville is office buildings. It's office buildings in a stadium.
It
That's why,
is.
like, at least in Detroit, there's stuff to do. So people wanted to like come here. There's shit to do in Detroit. What is there to do in Jacksonville? Go to the Jaguars game and like,
There's an art museum called the Cummers Museum, and it's CUM. So there's that.
there's the Commerce Museum.
They need a ghostwriter when they name some of these places.
Well, the craziest part, like a town near where I grew up, and I kid you not, this is a real thing. There's an island near there called Coon Island. I'm not making this up. And I'm like, who thought that that was like a good name? Like, not only that, it's like we're in the year 2024, almost 2025. You ever thought about renaming the island? Like,
Yeah.
and it's right. The island is right near a very heavily black populated area. I'm like, change the fucking name.
That's awful. I like Epstein Island because it's very straight to the point. No one's offended.
Yeah, Epstein Island, Austin Wolf's favorite place.
Or what we call Tinder for Austin Wolf.
I mean, it's so true. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're making jokes about Austin Wolf." Fuck you. I had to interview somebody seriously about Austin Wolf. Now I get to make jokes. Like, because I know somebody who worked with Austin Wolf, and that was like probably the most awkward. Well, not awkward, but like it was the I know you're my friend, but I have to ask you about this kind of situation.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was it like working with him? And did you know? Because when you're like a lower sort of performer and you were first coming, and like Austin Wolf was like kind of a thing, but if you were established and you already knew, that's where you got to look at people and be like you knew this was happening, and you still worked with him anyway.
It deals with children. It's awful. And
Yeah,
infants.
yeah, it's like with that, it's almost like, and you worked with him on an adult scene, like you're barely legal, like the daddy son thing. It's almost like, why didn't you say no? If you knew, why didn't you say no? He calls on the phone and be like, "Hello, hi, this is Austin Wolf. Get the fuck off my line," and hang up. It's not that hard.
Right.
Where am I? Oh yeah. So back to your ex. When did he start distancing himself from you? Because I know you said you were together 5 years, right? When in that 5 years was it like that he started sort of distancing himself?
Maybe like a year and a half to 2 years. That's
Uh,
crazy, I know.
well, that leads to the question of why did you stay? But I understand. I understand why you stayed because unfortunately you were living with him. But
Splitting
was
rent. It was a rent relationship. That was
yeah.
the best part.
But I mean, okay. So with this, was there any part of you that thought about, because you eventually just became roommates? Was there any part of you that thought about dating somebody else? Well,
Oh,
when
like
things got
polyamory?
no. I'm saying, well, but is it really polyamory when you're not doing stuff? Like, is it?
We talked
That's
about being open. He's like, I need a gamer and you need somebody who could fuck all day.
Which I would say this, like, you do need someone, but it's also like you would be, in my eyes, you would be the perfect boyfriend, except for the fact that you're only a top. Because like for me, I had this conversation last night. I need someone who's verse. Because like it's like I don't mind doing one for like a majority of the time, but sometimes we gotta like switch it up. Like
I have a confession. It's going to be the first place ever heard. I've
mhm.
been jerking off to bottoming lately.
It's because oh, right, we've had this conversation. My thing was I think I gave you advice with yeah, because you probably this is the thing. It's probably something that you wanted to you've secretly wanted to do it, but you've had in your mind, you've had a psychosis thing where you almost had a fear of it. You had a fear of it because of a situation that you had. I don't know if you want to get into it.
Oh, you can talk
Uh,
about anything. It doesn't
yeah.
matter to me.
So, you the thing with the hemorrhoid was probably what stopped you from wanting to bottom. What stopped me from wanting to bottom was getting raped. So, like, that was kind of why I didn't do it for about, I want to say a year, maybe a little bit longer, because it's one of those things where it's like you go back to the pain in your mind, and that's what you remember, and that's what you don't want to remember. But eventually, I have to tell people, I will say this: go to therapy if you're not an artistic person, but if you're an artistic person, pour all your pain into your art because then once you let it out, you become free of it. And it no longer owns you. Like it no longer owns me. I sing about it. I have a song about it. I sing about it and scream about it on stage. Like when I haven't performed that song yet. I haven't performed since I started going since I was in Detroit. I am tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's
Oh,
gonna be
that's
my first.
awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna like set everything out. I'm definitely going out tomorrow night. I've got a set list and everything because I miss it. I really I do. Cause like I'm one of those people, I don't know if you're like this. If I put everything out like hours before I'm supposed to do something, I'm gonna do it. Like if I just set everything up, but if I like have to go, especially digging through my drag closets, it's just yes, that's right, people. I said drag closets. I have two because they're not walk-ins. But like I have too many wigs and shoes. That's why like everyone's like everyone's like, could you ever live with a man? I'm like, if he has no, he'd have to have his own apartment just for his shit because I'm not letting him move in my with my stuff.
That's so funny.
Because
I
I
mean, you're
do,
a peasant, so of course you don't have like a walk-in, but one day this podcast will come up, you know?
yeah. I don't like my apartment for what it is, for what I'm paying, is a decent apartment. It's just it's old. This is what I tell people. It's like when they say, "What about Detroit?" It's like I live in an old apartment. I live in Detroit is an old city. If you don't live in somewhere old, you're like you make millions of dollars, or you own your own company where you make
Right.
thousands and millions of dollars. Like yeah, someone like Terry Wayne, who's a designer from here, yeah, he lives in a nice high rise, probably in downtown. He has his own company. Like
Right.
like Cash Doll probably lives in a high rise downtown. She's rich.
Yeah.
I'm, but okay. I don't have this question written down, but I'll ask you. So, what would be the point that you would have to make, like monetarily, to quit working a regular job?
$7,500 a month consistently for like 6 months, so I know there's data that it will continue.
See, my thing is I don't have a monthly thing, I have a yearly thing. If I made I said this yesterday, if I made $100,000 a year, that'd be enough. Like, that's why when all the people like talk about, oh, wanting to be famous and make millions of dollars, you don't need more than $100,000 a year. Like, and if you do,
You're overspending.
yes, you're over. This is the thing. That's why all these people with oh my gosh, even drag queens, they're like, I have to have human hair wigs. I have to have all this. My shit comes from China. I don't fucking care. Like, it comes from China, the cheap section. I brush it out and take care of it. And that's how you like learn how to do shit. If you learn how to take care of things, you can have cheap stuff and maintain it.
You're just smart with budgeting. That's the thing. Is like, and that's what matters most for your future.
Right. And well, this is the thing when people say like, what about budgeting? The secret is not eating. Um
How do you think I'm skinny?
well, that's the thing that and I'm still a big bitch, but I'm getting skinnier. Like, even the person who's crashing with me is like, you're starting to get a thigh gap, which is like, that means like I'm losing weight. And the thing is, this is what I tell people. It's like, look, if you diet during the week and you like sort of like binge on the weekends, you'll be fine. Because like I eat, and by the way, this is not healthy for most people. I'm on Slim Fast, so you can do this. I do 2 shakes a day, one snack, one meal a day. You can do that. People are like, what is I will be it's you sound like you're hungry. You will be. You're gonna be hungry all day. And that's gonna make you like probably the first few months is gonna probably make you want to kill somebody. And if you feel like killing somebody, give me your number and I'll tell you who I want you to take out.
Me too. Me too. Hit us both up. I have an uncle with a lot of money.
I actually this is another conversation I have with somebody who's like, if you found out somebody was rich, would you kill them? And I'm like, I wouldn't directly kill them. No, who like,
Directly, no, I hire.
yeah, of course you hire people. That's called contracting. Duh. It's like, it's the same reason you don't build your own houses, like because that's what contractors are for. Like,
It helps the local economy too. It's very strange the government's against it because that could raise money for school lunches, you know?
school lunches. I can't. Well, actually, when people say, but what about school lunches and what about all this? It's like, so what? Some kids die. Who cares? Like, we don't need another population.
I mean, it's like they're good firewood, you know? They last longer than the wood, they burn a little bit longer.
And it's like, plus, there are too many people. Like, I mean, granted, actually, I know you don't want kids. I know you've been married and don't want to get married again. This is the thing. I don't want Spencer to get married. I at least want Spencer to get engaged. You can stay engaged forever. And then I'll sing at your engagement party. Like,
True. And they
yeah.
make for a great TikTok video.
Well, this is the thing. Like, and you can stay engaged a long time. I know one of my mom's friends who was engaged for 10 years and then finally got married. Like, or no, 15 years. So, like, you don't have to get married immediately. Everyone's like, when's the wedding? I'm like, it's like when he goes past 900,000 and goes to a million, duh. Like, that's when the wedding
Right.
is.
I've set these milestones. It's in the manual. Can you not read?
Well, that's the thing. When people say like, "What would you do?" It's like you date an old guy, and on the side you have like a hot person. And they're like, "Fuck." Obviously, that's
It's in the contract with the old guy.
yeah. It's like he gets me, I get to be his eye candy, and I get Jorge or Jamal. It sounds good to me.
Yeah, and he's passing away, so he knows that it's not much time to find another little twink.
Yeah. So okay, I do have the questions. So I'm gonna focus. So okay, so I know obviously you left your ex recently, but how long was it from when you said okay? So you said 2 years from when he started distancing himself. 2 years in, so you waited 3 years to leave. And okay, well I guess this is it. What was the final straw? I'm rephrasing this question.
Okay, so I'm gonna try because we're coworkers. I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way.
Right.
I was living with them,
Yeah.
and there was a family member there, and I said something about my mom and her grandma who have passed, and they basically were. What I was talking about was plastic surgery because they all had plastic surgery, and she was like, "Ah, not my kind of people, not my kind of people," and I'm just like I mentioned my mom and my grandma first in my family. I'm like, they're dead. Like, you just don't say that like that. And then like he didn't stick up for me at all.
Well, I mean, well, this is probably at a point where you distance yourself, of course, because he doesn't see you. And especially like I will say, I might be wrong about this. With you not only working but doing OnlyFans and doing TikTok, in some ways, granted, he probably didn't need it, but you were probably theoretically the quote unquote like gravy train, right? Because you were the one making like all this money.
This is actually the funny thing. His savings was incredible. His mom was like a senior financial analyst, so he learned really young how to save. And like he actually ended up he didn't need a breadwinner. That's how much he saved by the time he was like 25.
See, I will tell people this. I had money. I don't have money anymore. I had money, but then I moved. So I'm broke.
Oh, I feel
But
that.
yeah, but because like what was the like what was the I had that moment probably like you did where I'm like I'm done living like this, especially the situation I was in. I told my dad, I'm like, I can't live like this anymore. This is not an existence. This is, I'm sitting here sort of in some ways appeasing the fact that you're saying that this is a normal situation. It's not normal. I need to be able to like walk around, like live freely. Like it was to the point, like, this is kind of disgusting, but I'll just like kind of say it. It's honestly true. Like, I was so afraid to go to the bathroom at some points because that dog was attacking me that I had like jugs of Arizona tea that I was like peeing in just to
Oh
avoid
wow.
having to go. Yeah, that's the point that I was at. Like, and I'm like, this is not natural at all. Like, I should be able to like live a place and be able to walk freely and be able to have people over and not be afraid that I'm going to get attacked leaving my bedroom. It's insane. Like, and when I went to Detroit the first time, I even remember having a conversation with my aunt where she's like, "Well, what if you don't find an apartment?" I'm like, "No, that's not an option. Like, I'm going to find somewhere. I don't care if I have to live in a building where there's a bullet hole in one of my windows. I will fucking do anything to get
I
out."
feel that.
And like, that's what you do out of desperation. Like, desperation becomes survival. Like, Spencer probably didn't want to move to Jacksonville, but he did it out of desperation. And like
Yep.
once he leaves, well, I'm gonna say this: you're probably. Do you see yourself leaving Florida in the next like 5 years,
Yes,
10?
even less. I can't stay here for that long. I'm so not doing that. I'm getting old. I don't want to be here when I'm 40.
Yeah. I would tell you to move here because like you'd love the like prices here. You couldn't stand the weather. Like I know this about you. Like we're now in the season where I'm having a little bit difficulty with the weather. I was good up until probably about 3 days ago
How cold is
when
it?
right now, granted, I don't feel it in my apartment because I'm on the third floor, but right now it's 20 degrees outside.
I wouldn't survive. I would walk out and just freeze, like Titanic scene with
Well,
Rose.
well, that's why you don't leave. That's why I don't have any plans to leave today. I'll leave tomorrow, but it's like because today it's 20, tomorrow's supposed to be 37, which is essentially a little bit warmer. But and that's when I'll like do stuff.
My heat
Yeah.
broke, and it showed I was 61 in the house, and I wanted to cry.
Yes. First of all, this is the part that I don't get. I understand you're cheap and you scrimp on stuff, but like if you're having a heater that you're using all the time, why would you scrimp on that? Like that's the one time you need to spend money.
It broke, and
The
they want me
heater
to pay for it.
the heater you bought, bro?
Oh, no, the little room one, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, that's I don't know why I didn't buy one. I don't know why. And then I finally broke
Because
down and got one.
well, no, and you got one that was $20. If you'd gotten one that was like 70, you could have gotten one with a remote. That's why like both of mine have remotes because I have two in my apartment. And like
Gotcha.
it's very simple because like I turn the one on in my living room every day because like when I'm getting out of the shower, that's the only time I notice the cold is when I'm getting out of the shower. So I'm like, you just hit the remote, turn it on, and then when you're done, like come out in half an hour, you turn it back off, you're fine.
Yep. The
Because
shrinkage.
yeah, I mean the one thing that I can say is it's not snowing here. Well, not today. It was a few days ago, and
It's crazy.
well, no, I haven't. I will say this: I've avoided driving in snow yet. I haven't driven in snow. But because like the few days it snowed, I've been working from home. So like I did go out yesterday, and for the first time, because I've been having somebody who helped me do this, for the first time I sat there and brushed off the snow off my car, which is I will say this: anyone who's like, because especially this time of year in any of the winter states, you can't be late because you need at least a half an hour to 20 minutes to go down to your car, turn on the defroster, and
And wait for it,
every
right?
yes, yes. That's why. Granted, I'm always the person who's like, um, I like getting stuff done early. I like being home by like 10. If I have to like go out during the weekend, it's like I'd rather get my shit done when like nobody's out and like just get home and chill.
Right.
That's why even when like dudes hit me up, they're like, "Can you come over to my house?" I'm like, "No, come to my apartment." Like it's like it's like I'm living in an apartment. I have my own bedroom. Like, why do we have to go to your house? I actually had a guy one time. I ended up bailing because like I drove to his house and then he's like, he wanted me to go to his non-lit backyard, and I'm like, "Bye." I
That's
blocked him.
scary.
I'm like, "Bye." I'm like, "I'm not going to your backyard." I'm like, "That's how you get fucking murdered." Like, it's like I may look young, but I know the shit of I'm reading. I know the shit of I can't multitask, clearly.
I think it'd be fun. Could you imagine how great of a story that'd be for your podcast? Like, I
Wait.
decided to do it, and he went to murder me, but I escaped because my
I
fans
don't
needed me.
I already have enough stories. Like let's see. Um let's see. I have the story about that I told you about last time about the first time I had my ass eaten was by a crackhead. The the first time I did a threesome, guys were doing Tina in my apartment. Like
You have a thing for guys who do drugs.
I don't have a thing for okay, so the crackhead in my defense, I didn't know. I didn't know till we were almost home. And then that's when he decided to tell me. I'm like, well, I just drove a half an hour to get you. So it's like, yeah, obviously we're having sex. Like,
He's a crackhead, but my hole is puckering. Okay.
that was fun. He was amazing.
I haven't done anything since my ex, him and I broke up. It's been like 4 months. I haven't done a thing.
Oh, you mean sex. I'm like, you garden every day. What are you talking about? Like,
No, no, I just haven't like, yeah, I haven't fucked or even
well,
like kissed.
the kissing's probably smart. Like, there's a way of when people say, how do you not get emotionally attached to somebody? If you do everything else, but you keep your mouth off limits, meaning like their mouth can't touch your mouth, because kissing is what attracts white people to like have the mushy feelings and all that. The secret is you gotta like when everyone's like, "What do you have to do?" You have to bang like a prostitute. Like you literally have to. The only thing going in your mouth is a dick. Like
That's it.
that's yeah. You're going in a hole, or he's going in your hole, or like if you're lucky like me, you get a guy who flips because that's my thing. I love verse guys, and I love guys who are like open to being verse because they just well, okay. I'm gonna ask you, what scares you about bottoming now?
My hole's ugly. Not even joking. That's really what it is. After the hemorrhoid, it has a bump. And I was like, no, it used to be so pretty.
But okay, that video um on your X
That
Twitter or
was
whatever.
before.
Oh, that was before. Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty, wasn't it?
Yes, you did have a pretty hole. Yes.
Not anymore. I have to
Well,
clench for it not to be seen in like pictures.
I mean, theoretically, let's say that you want to do it. There's probably surgery for that you can like
I've done
make
it.
it for. You've done the surgery to make your hole pretty, and it didn't work.
No, it did way
Yeah.
back in the day. The most painful year experience I've ever had. I could have the ugliest hole in the world, and that was excruciating for like a year going to the bathroom. It just kept ripping every time, you know? And I'm like, try to give myself like certain foods to make it easier. It didn't. They stitched it up, all of that.
Wow.
And then like after I tried bottoming and it was a lot harder and they were like, "Oh yeah, you have scar tissue now. It doesn't stretch as much." And I'm like, "Oh."
I think what the secret is for you. This is going to cost more money, by the way. I'm just letting you know this. The secret is for you. You just have to. You're gonna if you want to bottom, you're gonna have to do the surgery. Like you're gonna have to do like they can't do the like fat removal because you don't have any, but like to like move it somewhere else, you're gonna have to do the implants. Like as sad as it is, I'm telling you, you're probably gonna have to do the implants. And like Because the thing is, it's only gonna be uncomfortable for like 3 months, and then you'll be fine.
It was a year.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is, when you get the surgery to like make your ass bigger, you can't bottom for 3 months.
Oh, damn. Oh, that would make
Mm.
it like easier to like not notice the hole. There would be like, oh, but that ass.
Yeah,
I
like
should do
my
it.
yeah. Well, that's the one thing that I will say. Well, clearly you've seen my ass, so like I don't care. I'll send you pictures of my hole because it's like once I like open it up, my hole is very pretty. Like
I'm so
because
jealous of the world of Joey Mills.
why?
'Cause he got the pinkest, flattest, bleached
Uh,
looking hole.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Like I think I've seen Jolie Mills' hole. Mine's well, first of all, even with being with the amount of black guys I've been with, mine's tighter than Joey Mills. I can tell you that right now. I just it's like genetic. That's why like when guys are like, it's so tight, I'm like, I told you. Like you didn't want to listen to me.
It just snaps it off when you clench.
Like that's the thing. I don't even like clench. My hole is just like naturally tight because someone described it almost as I don't have like a hole, I have like a pussy. So it's like it's yeah, it's
I'm sorry, that's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. It's okay. I'm good with it, but it's like that's the reason why guys the guys that I do have that come back because I have a few friends with benefits. I actually have one of them who on Monday, it's the reason why I wasn't in your stream that much Monday because he texted me. He's like, "What do you want? What do you want to do?" That's literally what he said, and I'm like, "I want you to suck my dick, eat my ass, and fuck me." And he did all three things, and I'm like, "That's what I like. I like a guy who's like, what do you want to do?' Because I like being in control. That's why somebody's like, I need a sub bottom. I'm like, you're looking towards the wrong person. Like,
You know what's
yeah,
kind of funny? When I've been like jerking off to, I have not been able to jerk off to the thought of anything but topping for a very long time.
yeah.
Recently, there's someone who's in the comments who I'm like, wow, they're so hot. And I started jerking off. It's like the thought of them like topping me. And then somebody I was messaging said some things like, oh, you're going to be a good boy. And I was like, yes, I am, sir.
I
I was
yes,
like, this is new.
I have somebody who's texting me like that too, and it's like with that because it's like when I tell people there's a difference between like being a submissive bottom, like because they want you to be submissive, and you being submissive because you want to. That's very different. Like when I submit to guys, they're not doing more than I want them to, but they're also doing what I want them to because I told them.
Right.
Because that's the thing. I've very much done that in my like music. I'm very much the person who's like, I'm bottoming for you, but I'm in control. Like,
I just want to wake up to a top fucking my mouth. And like I give them consent beforehand and I'm like, wake me up whenever you want. Just come on my face before work if that's what you want to do.
see, my kind of like favorite thing to do is like, and this is when I'm like close with somebody, I like just um I just sit there and I just start kissing them, like kissing them in the morning, and then all of a sudden, without telling them, I just throw one of my legs over their body and just like back up and sit on their face. Like that.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I'm very much in I love being in control. That's why any of the submissive guys who are like especially like older guys. Like, yeah, older guys are submissive. You want to know why they're fucking submissive? Because they had to spend years of being called or saying to their friends that they actually thought gays were faggots and all that. They had to do that shit. And that's why they're like, call me a faggot, talk about when you're in the Navy, and I'll like jerk off to the stuff about like before don't ask, don't tell. Duh. Like,
Yeah.
no shit. Whereas like I'm like, if I say something, I'm like, let's be clear. I'm in control. You're not calling me anything that I don't want you to. The one thing is, here's one thing. Being with black guys, this is just one thing. I am not gonna do role play with you where I'm the master and you're the slave. No, it's got historical context. And no matter how much that no much you just got that. And I'm not calling you the N-word. Like, sorry, no.
People have asked you to do that?
Never been asked, but if I was asked, that's the line. It's like, I'm not doing that. Like, I had a guy on Grindr hit me up who was looking for MAGA white guys, a black guy who's looking for MAGA white guys. I'm like, bitch. It's like
They
you're
want somebody
looking.
who won't tell anyone.
No, they want someone who's like theoretically. That to me says you want someone who's racist. Like, no, like I won't. I won't do that. Yeah, no. There's certain things like when you like talk about racist things. It's like this. It's like the same reason why go with like I wouldn't go with a like Mexican person if they said like, oh yeah, I want to role play. I want to role play. I want to be a taco truck worker. Hold the fuck up, bitch. What? No.
Or like my
No.
people, I want to be
Yeah.
studying for the bar exam to become a lawyer. That'd be so funny,
No,
actually.
I just thought of something that would be worse. It's like be a cashier and tell me I can't get the sale. Be a cashier and tell me I can't get the sale. Like,
I love that. Tell me you don't love me and call me by my father's name.
okay. So now I have to make things serious. Okay. So what made you not want to tell your TikTok followers that you were living with your ex and instead referred to him as your roommate?
So, first off, when I started social media, it started with Facebook. And it
Yeah.
was like blowing up. I mean, like pictures, 700 to 1,000 likes, which is crazy for Facebook, you
Right.
know? And the second I put in relationship, I saw a comment and it said, get ready for the engagement dip. It went to like 50% and below right after. And then him and I broke up in the beginning after a few months. And
Yeah.
I said, I never am going to tell anybody about us because this is really hurting my career.
Yeah.
And I was like, the reason people, I was like, oh, they only want me as an object. They don't care about anything else. So I'll have to hide the fact that I'm somebody else's object.
Yes. First of all, he acts like he started with Facebook. Stop lying. You know you were the first person on MySpace posting memes. You lying sack of shit. Oh
Me
no.
and Matthew Lush, that's why we battle reminisce about the 1960s.
This is anyway. You're trying to get me in trouble.
I am bringing people up. It is me.
I told you we had this discussion. Like he acts like I'm the one who brings up people, which is why we have an episode that's never gonna like see the light of day by everybody. But if you're friends with me, I'll show you what it was. Um, you can come over to my apartment. But it's like he tried to play me for it. I'm like, it was not my fault. like I didn't do it. I'm because here's the thing. I'm I only talk about people that I theoretically know. Like when I like name blasted Ricky Roman for not answering my text, I've told him this in person. He knows this about himself. Like that's why I don't mind mentioning him. Like he's my friend.
Right,
But
exactly.
because everyone like that's the one way that I feel like I'm misperceived. I mean misperceived. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm gonna say it. Um I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna roll with it. You make up words all the time.
Seriously.
It's it's like most of the time when I'm joking about somebody, it's because I like them. It's not, and people take that as me like being a bitch. It's not me being a bitch. It's me making a joke. Like I'm not sitting there like I will be the first one to defend you if somebody like 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 you know it. I don't put up with shit from people like going after you. I am very protective of my friends, which is why I go after people who go after my friends. But it's like
Exactly.
sometimes you go after my friends and well, if you're right, like when I see people go after people and if they say, "Oh my gosh, this person's untalented." I'm like, "Well, that's why I want to get them on my podcast. I want to tell them that they're untalented." Like, we're not going to say names, Tokyo.
You just invite them on. We're gonna have a podcast. Let's
No,
start.
I have invited him. I re-invited him again. I want my Jerry Springer moment. Like I like legit want him to be like, I heard what you said about me. And I'm gonna be like, and I said it.
That'd be so
My
funny if you started a podcast and we're like, I just want to say you're terrible. Thanks, guys. It was great. And then you hang up.
I wouldn't hang up. I want the moment where it's like, yeah, I said you're untalented and you can't rap on beat. Maybe your friend who's actually a talented rapper who I'm friends with, I'm not gonna say who it is, but it's like should tell you because when you're a rapper and you're paying because you pay what people don't know is that like independent rappers pay hundreds of dollars for beats. So you're paying hundreds of
Really?
dollars for yeah. Like on the cheap end, and this is why I'm glad I do my own music, is like on the cheap end, a beat costs between 350 and $800. Yeah.
That's crazy. You could write a beat in GarageBand to cover that.
That's why I hear because like you figure if I make a 12 album project, which is what most of my albums are, that's probably you can correct me if I'm wrong about this. Probably what like $2,000 at least, if not more.
It's about 9,600.
Exactly, you're $9,600 in the hole, and you haven't done anything. Like all you've done is get beats, and you're $9,600 in the hole, plus the studio time you have to pay. Which is why when people say like it costs them $30,000 to make an album, well, it's like, well, gee, if you cut out some of that money,
That's crazy. 12 albums, $800, $9,600 for that, just for the
yeah,
beats.
for yeah, just for the beats, and then you have to write. This is the thing that I will do, which is why I would never sample an artist because you have to pay licensing for that. So that's why I've only like in the amount of songs that I've written. Granted, I never blew up. I have one on SoundCloud where I sampled Tyga, Rack City, and that was like the one song. I'm like, I'm not putting this on an official album because I'm gonna owe Tyga all this money and I'm gonna get nothing when I put it on Spotify now.
Right.
I'm yeah, you have to know this is the thing, and you probably also know this as an entertainer. I had this discussion with people. Long gone are the days where you can do one thing. in the entertainment industry, long gone. That ended probably with Kim Kardashian, as much as I hate her, honestly.
Yeah, no, I have to do memes, I have to do nudity, I have to do comedy TikToks, I have to do
Yes.
Facebook and Threads, 5 meme accounts or Instagram accounts, sorry, it's a lot.
Yeah, you have too much to do. My thing is I have too much. The most that like would like theoretically cost me money if I had to do stuff would be overhead. And that's just because whenever I if I were to like potentially go on a tour, it's like I have to pay for a suitcase for wigs, a suitcase for shoes, a suitcase for costumes. I literally wear like no clothing at all, but we're gonna say I wear costumes. That's that's the thing. I also like you may agree with this, you may not. I pointed out to people, which is sometimes you have to sexualize yourself before the world sexualizes you as an entertainer. Because like it's like I have a fat ass. I'm not gonna be able to escape that. Like I'm like, so I'm just gonna give this is the way I look at my audience. I'm gonna have like mainly like gays and white people liking my music. I'm gonna have like black and Latino guys jerking off to my videos. Like and that's just how it is. And like I kind of like that. And yes, have talent, people. Have talent. Do multiple stuff, but also be good at multiple things. Because there's some people who could not sit here and do what I'm doing with TwunkTheTwink, and like they couldn't sit here and have a conversation. Those are the like cringe interviews. I have about 4 out of 100 something. Yeah.
An hour of that must suck.
No, those are the shortest ones. The shortest interview I've done was 35 minutes because we just like we did not get along. I was sitting there. I felt like the dentist having to like yank the teeth out of the person and like no.
That's horrible.
And it's like this is the thing I tell people. It's like this was with a winner of a show, like winner season 1 of Go for the Gold. I was lucky enough to get him on here. He's been in the porn industry. He's done all this stuff, and you can't have a conversation with me for an hour. Like, get real.
That's
Of course,
annoying.
yes. Of course, I love the people who I could sit there and have like 3 hour long conversations with. Because there have been some where like I tell people, I'm like, I give you an hour and a half. We can go shorter than that. We can go longer than that. It all depends on you and
Right.
how we get along. Like, honestly, if I were to do stuff, I mean, I clearly am gonna stick to a timetable with you, but like I could sit here and talk to you for 6 hours, like, and probably have no problem.
Exactly same.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Now that you're past this situation, I think you're past your stalker situation now, right? Or are you still like in the middle of it?
Still in the middle, sadly. They haven't, you know what I was talking about with SER, like when they're trying to find and all of that. I don't think it's
Right.
happened yet.
Well, I honestly I feel bad for you because it's almost like the stalkers you have almost are there at you because they can't have you, which is they don't want to hear this, but I'm going to say this: you can't have him. He doesn't want you, especially the way that you like act and like try to do things to like sabotage. He doesn't want you. Why would he want to be with somebody? That's like it's like you're the person who like sits out when you find out his apartment, you sit outside his apartment and have like pictures of him all around, like sitting in your car, and then you're like weirdo like that. I don't want to make a joke about that because that happened to Paula at Jewel Stalker, so I don't want to make a joke about
No, you're good. It's just
that.
like
Yeah.
I saw a video of them being like, "Why does he want to defame us? We're not even famous." Defame has the word fame in it, and you guys are not famous, so you need to think of another word, like de peasant or something.
Well, wait. Oh yeah, defamation also comes from the word defame, which means you have to have. But here's the problem. In some ways, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other people. What social media has done is it's caused some people who have no talent to get a following. And what this has done is it's created a sort of subsect of people whose job is just live streaming and telling their lives, and we're supposed to act like they're interesting. And yes, some of them are, some of them aren't. We're gonna say who, but some of them aren't. And like some people, I remember seeing one of the like, I was in like for a second of one of your stalkers like battles. It was the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like it's just people yelling. I'm like yelling, being like, "Oh yeah, 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 we're gonna go after." It's like,
They were very scary. It was
yeah,
scary. I've never looked over my shoulder before.
no, because it's almost like with that, it's in some ways, it probably when things get bad, even like when it was first starting out, it probably gave you anxiety. Going, why? Because you're like, well, what are they gonna try and do? And I've seen it. It's the worst. Like they're trying to go like after you, and people are like, but they're on the internet. It doesn't matter if they're on the internet. Once they find out where you are, you're that's no longer the internet. That's them. That's them stalking you. And like the thing
Telling
is,
everyone where I work, my old address, all of that. It's like that's crazy.
it's because like they told him you're old. Well, I know where you work. They told
He
him you're
didn't
old at.
realize that it was my old address. He thought it was the
Oh,
current one.
oh. So but that means you could have like people who are like fans of theirs showing up at. Well, actually, I don't know. Like you, that's the one thing where you spend money is on like places to live. You may have lived in a place with security. I don't like.
Right.
So
This
like, no, you're probably in like a building with like a common corridor, and that's about it. You don't have like any sort of. I mean, honestly, same. But the one thing that I will say about my apartment that I actually kind of like is that I have the kind of apartment where even delivery people like my apartment's right off like a main street, but because so many people can't find the parking lot, they usually end up driving past my apartment like all the time.
right.
So like even if you were to like go and try and stalk me, it's like you'd have to be on foot. And at this point, if you're gonna walk up 2 flights of stairs to get to my apartment, like
Let
first
me
of
tell
all,
you, he was
yeah.
drinking in so many of his live feeds. At least it looked like alcohol. And there was one point he was like, he lives in, and then the other one says, "Oh, you're slurring again." Then in another one, he's like, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Oh, he's just throwing up." And I'm just like,
How do you
"Yeah,
not get
y'all."
yeah. How do you not get banned for that? Because like
Oh, he's
I've
been
heard,
taken down. He appealed. I made sure he was taken down. I've had it. He wasn't allowed to even send DMs. I fucked up his account after he wrote me that I belong death and stuff. Like, no, no, no. You don't threaten my life.
and I am like, I'm hiding it because it's behind. I'm actually like starting to tear up for you a little bit because it's like you're like one of the sweetest people, and to have somebody go after you, like, don't go. Like, if you come after me, I understand you can kind of perceive me as a bitch. Like, if you were to come after me, don't go after TwunkTheTwink. Like, no. And this is the thing: if I hear about it and you try and go down to Florida,
Yeah, I know they're gonna be
I
fucked.
yeah, no, I will find a way to get my ass down there
It's
because
gonna
you
be
will have
solved mysteries, not
yeah,
unsolved mysteries.
yes,
You're gonna be like, I
yeah,
fucked them up.
yeah. You will have to deal with me because like I don't get angry or violent towards people who like are good, but like would you seriously come after somebody that I'm friends with? No. Like, listen, and this is the thing I always tell people: you don't want to turn against me. I will say, honestly, in truth, I am taking credit for this. And if the person ever wants to talk to me again, they can do this. I chased somebody out of the music industry, and I'm proud of it. Like, I
Are
basically
they
called
not a
them.
true artist?
They weren't a true artist. They weren't a true artist. They sucked. Their last album that they put out independently tanked because they were trying to go this singer songwriter route when they can't fucking sing. I covered their music and sounded 1,000 times better than them. I'm not saying this is like an ego boost. I'm saying it because I know talent and I know untalented people. I've done music long enough. I know what a talented singer sounds like. I know what an untalented singer sounds like. And the fact that you think that you can go back to like underwear modeling and everyone's going to pay attention to the fact that you're not a talented singer, that your pretty face is going to get you along. And actually, it's almost I'm not I even if they wanted to talk to me again, I wouldn't talk to you again because I can't trust you. Like, you sat there and you pretended to be my friend and then you turned your back on me without even telling me what I did. I can't trust you anymore. Nor would I tell other people to trust you.
Not even communicating to you what happened?
That was the thing. Like, I didn't start going after him until he started ignoring me. And I didn't even directly go after him. I just did like subtle things where I simply said like some people view being an artist as putting on a hat, something that they can take on and off. I'm a real fucking artist. He saw that, and that's when literally a day after I like posted that on my Instagram story, he unfollowed me.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, you shouldn't have ignored me, bitch. Like, I was the nicest to you. I was there. This is the worst part. Like, when you have somebody and like you give them money for something, like even if it's just like a little bit amount of money, it's like I gave you money because I thought you were my friend, and now you turn your back on me without even like telling me what I did. Shady,
Yeah.
shady, shady. It's gross. Like, I hate people who are like that.
That's why I
So,
love dogs.
yes, you take in. This is the thing. I don't ever like when I take in people. I'm gonna say this is a little manipulative. I take in people that can find other ways to pay me back. Wink. Um,
I
absolutely.
get it.
It's like you want to come in my apartment? It's like great. You gonna fuck me? You gonna suck my dick? You gonna do something? Like if you're gonna live here for free, you're gonna find some way to pay me back. Like,
Right.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, you've been dating somebody recently, but I'm not saying who. We're not gonna say who. Anyone who wants to know, become Twonk's friend, and if you want to know how to do that, um, I'm certainly not gonna tell you. Like,
The secrets of the trade.
well, that's the thing. You are trusting of people, but it's almost like you need somebody who's like, I don't know how to tell people to be like me, but be like me. Like, just don't expect anything where you're like, if you're just using him for your own motives to like get a free OF subscription. I don't even have no free OF subscription and we're friends. Like, so if you think you as a random stranger is gonna get one,
I'll send you one,
that
by
is
the
you.
way. I didn't even think about that.
No, I'm kidding. That wasn't me trying to get one, but I would
No, I
appreciate
know,
it.
but I
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to. I need
Yeah.
to.
Because that's the thing. I like promote people. I mean, granted, I always tell people, I'm like, if I subscribe to every OF creator that's been on here, I'd be broke. Because I don't have that kind of money. I don't have like I do want someone. I want somebody who's just like pays my bills and like yeah, pays my bills. Like pay the rent. Like well, actually I don't need rent. Pay my other bills.
And eat my ass. That's like, is that too
Yeah.
much to ask?
It's not too much to ask. Where it's like this is the thing where I tell people it's like listen, and this is the one thing that I have to say, and I think the secret is because I shave. Like from what I've been told, my parts taste good. And
You
well
season
that's
them beforehand.
well no, when guys are like, um they're like, "Does your ass taste good?" I'm like, "Well, let's put it this way. I've had sex with somebody 6 times and they've eaten my ass every time. So what does that tell you?"
Exactly.
It's like if you take care, first of all, and this is what I'm going to say to the tops who want people to eat their ass. Shave your whole bitch. Like literally, nobody wants to stick their tongue in a fucking Brillo pad. Spray like shave your fucking hole.
It just looked like eyelashes around like a circular eye. That reminds me, I
Yeah.
need to shave my hole. Thank you for the reminder.
For what?
For FaceTime.
FaceTime with oh,
Yeah.
but I thought you
Yeah.
were afraid to show. Oh, you're afraid to show the world. You're not afraid to show him.
Yeah. But like
But
also I'd feel weird if he licked it because I'm like, there's a ridge there.
but does okay? Does does he who's unnamed want to?
Oh yeah, no, he's a top. He's
Yeah,
like a verse top and he's like the stereotype. He wants to eat it.
let him do it. Like
I'll
just let him.
clench. I'll make it a thing for him.
See, that's the thing. That's where like the shady. That's why people think I do. That's why people I think I clench my hole when I do stuff. It's like no, that's how my hole naturally is. I'm not closing up at all.
I got that clench, that DNA clench.
No, actually, this is a story. It's like one time I had sex with a white guy, and apparently I didn't know this about my hole, but he's like, you didn't tell me that your hole was gonna tighten up on my dick as I started coming. I'm like, I didn't know that. I don't fuck myself. Like,
I've tried, it didn't work.
well, no, my hole naturally did it. He was like getting closer, and I could feel his dick like start to pulsate, and my hole tightened up on his dick.
I love that.
Yes, it's a trick of the trade, darlings. I don't know how to do it.
I tried fingering my. Oh, I'm so loud. My neighbors. I tried fingering myself like in the past year, and I got a second finger in and started bleeding. That's
Well,
how tight. It's like I need to stretch.
okay. I'm dancing around this subject, but I'm going to ask you a question directly. So, how big is it? Because I'm assuming you've seen it.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. This is gonna be a little work. It's gonna be a little work. But
Is,
Mama's ready.
is it 12 inches like yours? First of all, I love when people. I love when your like followers on TikTok say it's 12 inches. I'm like, no, I've seen it. Like, I've seen it. Your dick's nice, but it's not 12 inches. Like,
It's not 12 inches. It's just because I'm a little short twink and it just makes
yeah,
it look like.
no, like it's like I didn't look and like I wasn't scared. Like, that's like let's put it this way. Like Spencer said before that he would never have sex with me. Now that I think that he's seen my ass, I feel like there's a greater chance that he would. Like,
Yes.
yes,
Oh, but
and
I'll tell
like
you, he's about the same size as me.
okay, so that would be see, not to make myself sound like a complete like nympho freak, but like um that would be on the smaller side of what I usually take.
It's
But
crazy.
that's because well, first of all, I will just say this. Not only is it sleeping with black guys, which they stereotypically say that's true, it's not for everybody. I've seen some black guys with small dicks, so not everybody. But it's like in Detroit overall, the dicks are bigger here. Like,
Really?
oh yeah. Like one of my like one of the guys who like has come over regularly. He's like I am tall. He makes me look short. He's 6'6". He's 6'6". He kind of looks a little like he's got like he's a black guy, but he's got like bleached hair, so he's got that thing. But his dick, you could never take it. Like you could never take it. I can only take his dick every few days. Like it's one of those for me. But like
Do you enjoy it
when
after it's ready?
oh yeah, oh yeah. And like especially that like he's the guy who I was talking about before who said, "What do you want to do?" Like
Really?
that was him. Yeah,
I love that.
and because that's the thing. Like we'll do stuff and like so you're that's gonna be a lot for you. I'm thinking like the first time you like.
It is. Because I'm big for a little white boy.
What do you mean? Your dick's big, but like
Oh, that's what I meant. Like my
yeah,
dick.
yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
talking about no. I'm talking about the first time you take his. Like
Oh, that's
that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, and he's the same. The most I've ever had is 8 inches, which is crazy. When I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Biggest that I've known I've taken is 10.5. I feel like the guy I was talking about is probably 11 at least. Yeah.
How in the fuck was it painful, the 10.5?
The first time when I took it the first time, yeah, I felt it the next day. That's what it takes me to feel it the next day is 10.5 inches. Like or like actually now it'd probably have to be 12. Like
How would you like? Doesn't it? Do they go all the way in?
Of course.
Doesn't it hurt when they like go past a certain point? It's like going into your colon.
My thing is with that, I have enough of an ass to where it expands when they're in. Like that's why those videos. There's a website. It's one that Spencer's probably gonna audition for next. It's called itsgonnahurt.com, where it's a legit site. I'm not making it up. There's this guy who like they get tiny little twink looking people, and then they bring like this black guy with this big dick, and they're like, and then they have the faces of them like fucking doggy style. He's got like the twink has like no ass, and like you just see the pain in his eyes. It's actually kind of hot.
I like how the pain. I want to see it.
This makes me sound like a horrible person. No, but like it's like, yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I would. Well, I will say this: if you can take 7.5, you can definitely take me because I'm nowhere near that. But like,
I like small
good,
dicks.
and I've got one.
It's so weird.
Like, I've got the thing with me is it's like smaller, but it's got like a head. So like, guys like sucking my dick because it's like it looks very like appealing and like
It's pretty.
yes, yes. Again, I have pretty parts. I take care of myself. When people say, "How do you do it?" The secret is you have to moisturize your whole body. Like that's literally what I do. I moisturize my whole almost every day, and it's like it sounds insane when you tell that to people, but no, it keeps it presentable. Like you have to moisturize your face. Like it's what keeps it looking young.
I
That's
never
why.
thought about that. Like de-wrinkling your hole.
Well, my hole's not wrinkled, and it's not going to get wrinkled because I moisturize it.
I could see a commercial for this.
Yes. Well, it's almost as bad as you telling you know who last night when you're talking about doing drag, and then all of a sudden you mentioned shaving below your body, and it's like,
Oh,
yes,
I know you're talking about.
yes, you told me not to mention names, and I'm
You
honoring
can
that.
mention that name. You can mention
Okay,
that name.
yes, yes. So like he was talking with Malaysia for people who don't know that. Yes, the Malaysia from Drag Race, the one who now cost you can book for a gig for 50 cents, but like love you, Malaysia. Gosh, you're gonna send this to her, aren't you? You're gonna be like, go watch at this point. No, I'm kidding. But like,
No,
yeah.
no, she'll love that. She loves the shade.
But like, the thing is, when you said that, I started laughing, and Malaysia's like, why did you bring that up? But I know why you brought that up because you're you. Like,
It's just how I am.
and it's like, how does that have to? Although that would be one thing. So, do you shave the lower half of your body? Because like, you
I don't
might.
shave anything.
Because this
I
is the
get
thing.
bumps.
This is the thing. I do, but like if the bumps ever get bad, I have like a separate sponge for like parts of my body, and when I have to like kind of hide things, I just sit there and like hide stuff. But okay, here's the secret: if you have like bumps and stuff, whenever you're doing drag, if you ever do drag with Malaysia, buy yourself fishnets. Fishnets hide a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's my trick. Like when I like go out, I make sure I'm in the fishnets, even if I've done stuff. It's like it's a way it looks better. Shady drag queen told me that I needed to start wearing leggings at one point. A fucking
Oof.
shady drag queen. Because this is the thing. I used to. Because this is the one thing I have to say. Like, as much as I've lost weight and all this, my ass has gotten bigger. Like, and that was something where I'm like, when somebody pointed that out, I'm like, so my ass is gonna get bigger when I lose weight, and I'm like, this is not what I'm trying to do, but if it happens, it happens. Like, I gotta
Right.
deal with it. But well, that's the men will enjoy that. The men will definitely because like you, I can understand. You're probably more like when you bought them, you're like you want to do like missionary or like
Yeah.
ride the dick. I already know guys want to fuck me doggy style, so I usually let them do it because that's the whole thing of wanting to be with a person with a big ass. They want to see it. They want to see
I
it move when
hate
they fuck it.
doggy. It's just so painful the way my body's shaped.
It's yes because there's nothing there. Like I'm not trying to be shady. I'm being
It's
honest.
true. It's true. I have no ass.
Yeah, it's like that's why it's no fun for you to do doggy because there's nothing there. It's like with me, it's like you have something to see when you're like going in. It's like,
Mine just sounds like bone grinding. It's like
well, I'm gonna defend you on this point. It's because you're Jewish. Like no shade. It is because you're Jewish. Like
my mom too. She had no
yeah,
ass.
that's the thing. It's like that's what in truth that's why people think I've been told this. People think I'm mixed. I'm white, but people think I'm mixed. Like somebody told me like that I look ethnic looking. I think that's why guys are into me because I look as I said I look mixed with black and white. I'm not, or I also get told that I look Hispanic. I've been told that before too. Which again, I think it's the it's because I'm part Italian. That's why it is. That's why I look. But because to me, I'm like I look so white. Like underneath this, like this is I will say this underneath this, which is why I'm so glad I do drag. I have winter face underneath this. I have no problem with that. And for those of you who don't know, winter face meaning my face is kind of red under this. It's something I can't help. It's because of the temperature.
I get that.
It's like probably the craziest day was so I typically go walking in the morning and like Thursday I had to give up because like it was snowing, which I usually can walk in the snow, no problem. But it was so windy, I got halfway through. I'm like, I have to go home. Like I can't finish this because the wind was blowing directly in my face. And like
Right.
I just had to give up. So Friday, I'm like, well, no, what was it? Friday, it wasn't snowing at all. But I'm like, I'm not going outside. It's 12 degrees and there's no sun. I'm not going outside. Like, like I'll work out inside like I did this morning. I do. Actually, the craziest thing, I do Kegels and like I always tell guys that I'm not trying to tighten my hole, but I'm trying to like tighten my thighs, and it's like
I could see you sitting at work and they're like, "Do you work out?" I'm doing it right now.
I would never do it at work. That sounds like I literally like lying on the ground. Like typically, I did half an hour this morning. I usually do 45 minutes of like
Of Kegels?
yeah Kegels and like I do about 20 of like weights at the same time. So I'm lying on the floor with the Kegels and I'm lifting weights at the
I mean, you're saving time. I should be doing Kegels during live.
same
I wonder how many
time.
calories like an hour of Kegels burns.
You first of all, here's what I have to tell you. You have to open it up first before you can tighten it back up. Like,
Oh, that's true. I shouldn't do that then.
no, like you don't need to be doing Kegels. If anything, you need to,
Doing the
you,
opposite.
yeah, you need to be sitting on traffic cones. If anything, like you need to do
I'm gonna
Wait,
have the live from this high up, and then you're gonna see me sinking down.
which I will say this, like that's like the craziest porn that I've ever run into. Like, I don't even know how I ended up there, but it's like all of a sudden I just saw this like a bunch of videos of like guys sitting on traffic cones. I'm like, what the fuck did I search up to like watch this? And my thought after that is, if you're sitting on a traffic cone and that's what's making you moan like crazy, what the fuck is a man ever gonna do for you?
So what could I even do for them? Like Blues could do weekend to jump into it like Blues Clues. Like what could we even do with that butthole?
Actually, I will say this. This is like a one story. This happened while I was in Detroit. So it happened a few months ago. I had a guy who I like bottomed for, and then all of a sudden he brought out the strap-on thing. Didn't mention this to me before I went over to his apartment, and like that's what he wanted me to fuck him with, and I did it, and then eventually I had to stop because what they don't tell you, all that stuff looks pretty on porn and stuff. It was for me, it was the smell.
It was that bad?
Absolutely. Like this was somebody who I honestly believed didn't clean out at all before I came. So yeah, I was like, I was trying to like usually when you're like fucking doggy style, you want to look at the ass. I was trying to look away because I was getting grossed out. Like, not saying that like we shouldn't shame people. Like, if shit happens when you're like shit happens accidentally when you're fucking somebody, whatever happens, it's part of life. But it's like
Right.
when you're intentionally doing that and you want me to take something that's like that big and like strap it on, like you know what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
again, not kink shaming. I'm just saying that's not for me. That's not because first of all, with me, it's like that's not fun topping because now you got to come and now I get nothing because I have to
Right.
sit here and I'm not getting any pleasure out of this. No, like I won't. Yeah, that's one of my crazier stories. That's what I love how you say I need to get a story about being murdered. I feel like I have enough crazy stories as it is. I don't need an extra one.
I just feel like I've always wanted to star on Dateline NBC, and I feel like that's the only way I can is if I go missing.
No, you're not. Well, okay, Dateline NBC, yeah. I
I
mean,
want to be unsolved mysteries, like where y'all are just crying and I'm watching from the afterlife, laughing as y'all quit your careers trying to find me.
I don't know how you can star on Dateline. I know you can star on Chris Hansen.
Hello,
And,
kids.
and that
I
one's
thought he
very
was 18. I thought he was 18. It said 16. I thought it was a typo.
and that one's very easy. That's Date Tyler Rush.
See, that's okay. I love that. I love that. Have you ever seen the thing where it's like he may be 25, but his cheeks are 3?
See, I don't judge people who aren't all natural. I judge you when you have the airbag lips because it's like, what was I saw a comedian one time who was like talking about getting in a car accident and she had like inflated lips and she said, "Who did your lips?" And she said GMC. Like,
That's so funny. I just burned myself, but that's hilarious. That's
yeah.
so funny.
That's why like so okay, this is what I would ask you. I know you like the West Coast. Would you ever move to LA?
Yeah. Oh, LA.
Yeah. I know you
Okay.
I know you like San Francisco. San Francisco I could tolerate. I'm talking about LA.
Well, let's just say I had a female friend who was a model out there. I posted a story saying I wanted to move to LA. And she messages me. She goes, "Babe, you're a Jacksonville 9, but not a 9 in LA. I think that you should be a big fish in a small pond." And I was just like, "Oh, thank you for writing me after all these years just to let me know." It
Well,
kind of turned me off. I was like, "Oh, maybe I won't fit in there."
see, here's my advice, and they might actually like you out there because you're like small and twinky. If you end up bottoming, like you should just go live in Compton, like because this is the truth. This is the tea. If black guys don't like guys with big asses like me, the other thing that they love is twinks. They love a twink.
A big dick twink, you think?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Like the guys that I usually can't get usually go for guys like that. So like the I would say the few black guys. I will say this. I actually, crazily enough, I actually did first play with a twink one time. I've only had sex with a twink once. But like he wanted to. Like it was one of those things where he's like, I typically bottom, but his first thing was like, let me see that ass. And then he's like, at least for me, I don't care about the size of the ass. Like I like the size of your ass. I don't mind the smaller asses. Like I just need there to be a hole there. Like
Could you
that's
imagine if you just looked and there was just no hole?
r-
Sorry, I'm just imagining
yeah.
that.
But it's like that's all. But it's like, yes, is it fun to have sex with a guy with a bigger ass? Like topping, of course. Is it fine having sex with a guy with a smaller ass? Absolutely. Like, but usually the smaller the hole, the tighter they are. On the exception to that, where like I see guys who are like into me, like, and they send me videos of guys with bigger asses. I'm like, how are you sliding in and out so easily? He's like, it's because his hole is loose. I'm when I see
Still,
when I see guys who are like, if you have a loose hole, hit me up. I'm like, so you want somebody who's been banged out by 8,000 people, and that's who you want to fuck? Like that to me seems odd.
yeah.
Like, but some guys are like into that. I always my thing is I tell guys, and I'll tell you this, like as a top, usually, how long can you last when topping?
Me?
Yeah.
Maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna be real with you. You'd probably last half that with me.
I've, can I tell you the worst? First
What?
time I lost my virginity was to a girl. I finished on first insert. I didn't even get
What?
one pump in.
Wow.
She was my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "Spencer!" And I was like, "No, we'll go again. This is my first time, and you know that." And she's like, "It's okay." And then we
Well,
went again.
we'll see what I can handle as a bottom, and I'm telling you this like partially to turn you on, partially because it's the truth. If you like come the first time and you just leave your dick in and you keep going, I can handle that. Like I can handle. I think the most amount of loads I have held in me at once from one guy was 9 in a row.
You
Yeah,
didn't even let them out?
he didn't want to go out. He just kept on fucking me. I'm like, at 9 loads, I told him, I'm like, and these were big loads. I'm like, you need to stop. Like, you need no.
It must have been
Like,
fun, except for when you like
yeah,
probably had to let them out, and it was probably a crazy influx of just cum.
yeah. That's when you have to like. That's when you want to be at your like own place and like, because this is the thing I have to tell people. Like, you don't want a top to see that. You really don't. It's like it doesn't smell good, but like it's fun in the moment. Like that's that's the only thing. It's fun in the moment. Like, but I love. Yeah, I miss that. I'm the one who tells guys where they're like, "Oh yeah, I can last an hour. I can like definitely hit." I'm like, "No, you can't." Like stop lying to me. I already know. Because usually the guys who say like, "I would trust you," because like the guys who say, "Oh yeah, I'll be in that ass for hours. I'll just fuck it." They're usually the guys who are lying to you the most.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, "Oh yeah, you could last for hours." Okay, Mister 2 minutes. Like,
I still can't believe mine. I forgot about that. Not even a full pump. It was a quarter pump.
well, it's because actually, so that means that you could have that. Well, I mean, you did have sex with a woman, obviously, but like that means you could have sex with a woman. My thing is, I honestly believe that like if I did it doggy style, I think I could have sex with a trans woman. Like I honestly
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah, I couldn't see the face, and like I'd have to close my eyes and probably imagine a little bit that this dude. But I think I could do it.
I couldn't fuck a trans woman just because, like, I don't know, like, maybe I get that 1% a year where I'm attracted to women. It's
Yeah.
just so rare for me to be attracted. And the likelihood that they'll have, like, no, like, boobs and I don't know how to explain it.
No, you told me you're into like flat flat chested women. You're into
I like
like you're
pussy.
so your ideal woman would have been, as I told you, your ideal woman would have been Whitney Cummings pre boob surgery. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
which I mean, they have a word for people who like flat chested women, Spencer. They're called lesbians.
People used to think I was a lesbian when I had like more weight on me and my face was rounded. And they were like, "Oh my god, I thought you were a lesbian from across the bar, but you're just a man." It's like, okay.
that's that's the thing that I've been told. I've been told I look very um female looking out of drag even. Which I mean, I get it. I do look young and I do look sort of I look soft, which I mean I kind of like because I will say looking soft makes it easier to do drag. I always feel bad for the people who have to sit there and contour the shit out of their face. Not something I have to do. My face is just naturally feminine. Pretty.
You're very lucky because it takes forever, doesn't it?
The one time I had my friends do my makeup, do eyes and everything, it took 2 hours.
Crazy, right?
Yeah,
I don't
and
understand that.
that's the thing. Like, if I were, well, I mean, granted, you'd have to. If I were to do your drag makeup, you'd have to shave your facial hair, like,
It
because
sucks because I'd have probably half a year of horrific bumps. It's that bad. That in my chest and my ass and pubes.
it's
My balls, I'm good.
well, that's the thing. That's all I'm used to. That like I shave that all the time because I don't know, it makes it softer. Like that's part of the softness. But like the guys who um the guys who want me don't want somebody masculine. Like when dudes like hit me up and then they're like super masked, those are the guys who don't message me. But the guys who want like femi, because I don't think like I look them, but I don't think I sound them because I don't
You
like.
do not sound femme
No,
whatsoever.
no, it's because like I have that I have that like Christina Aguilera kind of sounding voice where Christina Aguilera doesn't sound like the most feminine, and I don't mind that because I don't like talk like this. Like, oh my god, Trish, let's go to the party. No,
You know, it's kind of funny. If we were like on like a Skype meeting at work and
yeah,
I couldn't see your face, I could actually think that you were straight.
I honest,
honestly.
yeah, I think that's what that's why when I've been asked if I've like considered myself trans, and it's like no, because
There's a
well,
difference.
no. There's a thing. I'm not gonna say who, but like one of my friends, like one time, so there's this trans woman who used to perform drag in like my area, and he literally said, and you'll find this funny, but like this is somewhat problematic. He's like, he literally said, he's like, sometimes God just makes you to be a dude. Like, and, and
You know,
this,
just
and this was the thing. We were literally like not even feet away from this person, and I had to sit there. I'm laughing so hard, and I had to get my composure. I'm like, you had to tell me this right when she's over there, like,
I love that.
which we love the trans community. Well, I'm not gonna say I love all trans people because some people are bitches, Caitlyn Jenner. But like overall, yes, I am very accepting. I'm accepting that people accept when they're a bitch to me. If you're a bitch to me, like I'm gonna say that it's gonna be like, yeah, take your shots, bitch, you untalented hoe. Like
Yeah,
you need them before you're gonna perform. You have to be drunk as fuck for everyone to think you're interesting.
I love
That
that.
see that would be me. That's why, like, at some point, I'm planning on hosting my own show, and I'd be the person to see the drunk person in the bar, the like one that's acting up. It's like I'd be like, listen, just because they're selling all the alcohol doesn't mean you have to fucking drink it. Like, it just it just be like that. It's like, oh look, you're drunk. Next, you're gonna say your political opinions. Here we go. Give it up for the drunk asshole uncle at the end of the bar that you want to turn into a congressman. Fuck you. Like,
It's so true, though.
yeah, because some people have to get obliterated. I like the fact that I can perform sober, and I do most of my shit sober. So like, it's not a choice. First of all, this is what I say to people with performers. You think, oh, I want to buy a drag queen a drink. Give me the fucking money. Like, honestly, just give me the money. Like, the $10 that you're gonna spend on that drink, I'd rather you hand me $10.
Exactly. Money
Especially
is
if,
money.
yeah, money is money. Especially if you're like paying cash. Like, tip me because I am. This is the shadiest thing that I do. When I go to a place and I see people who I know performing, I always pay people I know performing more than I do all the other queens. Or sometimes the shadiest thing is like I'll hand my drag sister Salma, like back when I used to live in Florida. I used to hand her fives and tens, and that drag queen that I was talking about that I knew, I used to hand her $1 every time because
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
and this was the thing. There's one time that like she didn't know who I was, and she was like drunk off her ass, and I was out of drag, and she was hitting on me. Like she was legit hitting on me in front of everybody. She was on the mic hitting on me. I'm
That's
thinking,
hilarious.
bitch. Like it's like I never had the balls to like tell her about it because I'm like I want to be like, hey, you know that person that you were hitting on at that event? Yeah, that was me, ho. What do you think?
I've had something like that, which is kind of funny. Went to a bar. Oh, wait, I was the shot boy there. And I see this drag queen walk by, and for some reason, we both just make like the most intense eye contact. Later, I'm on Grinder writing somebody, and then they were like, wait a second, I was that drag queen who made eye contact with you. And I'm like, what? And then we had a date and ended up dating for like half a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I've thought about this. I would never. Well, I don't think I would date a drag queen. I'd have sex with a drag queen. But I don't think I'd date a drag queen. That's
The nightlife and like always being worried.
Well, no, my thing with that is it's like eventually they're gonna get, in my view, they're gonna get jealous of me because it's like you can do that. I can host, I can sing, I can write music. I'm gonna put out an album. You're probably gonna get jealous of the fact that I'm gonna get exposure from that being in Detroit. Like all these things that I think about, and plus, I would say this: I'm kind of talking to somebody. Kind of.
Oh, sorry, I just dropped the phone
Yeah.
on my face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like single because this is my thing. Until you like commit to me, I get to do whatever I want. Like until you make the like contact to like say I'm coming to Detroit or you're gonna like pay for me to go down to Atlanta where they're at, I'm like, you don't own me, baby. Like I can do whatever I want. And like the weird thing is, and this is like the jaw drop of the century for me, he's white.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
rare. Do you really like them?
well, he's hot. Like he's on OnlyFans. Like he's hot. Like he's hot. Yeah. I've
I
seen
mean, can you
everything.
see a future with him?
Maybe. Like we'd have to like meet up because that's the thing. Like you can text somebody all you want, and like the other thing is like I know it's him because like I got his like Telegram through like his official page, so I know it's him. But
Right.
I'm still like that person where I'm like I still have my doubts where I'm like until you like FaceTime with me, I don't know. But I also need he seems like the type who's gonna get jealous, and that's not gonna be good for me because it's like you're gonna have to face the fact that when I'm performing, I'm gonna get two of the hottest Latino and black male backup dancers, and I'm gonna be making out with them, and you have to deal with that as my boyfriend. Like you can't get jealous because like
It's a performance. It's not the same thing as cheating.
no, that's exactly. It's like so okay. Ooh, that's this question. Okay, so I didn't think to ask this. I'll ask it now. So the guy you're talking to, is he at all jealous that you do OF?
Nope. And he even said that without me even bringing it up first.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So this isn't like live, right?
right.
Okay. So the likelihood that others will see this exact second, you're going to think I'm really crazy. I think he's the one. You think I'm crazy. I know.
No,
I
no, no,
know.
no, 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 no. Like I will say this. I have never been with the one, which is crazy because I've been close to getting married. But like I've never been with the one. And like if you're with the one, I think that's great. Like I because you know this, you're my friend. I want you to be happy. Of course. Like that's what you should want for your friends. Like my thing is when I tell people when I think about like dating and stuff, I'm married to music and married to entertainment. Like I need someone who's like gonna be strong willed and is not afraid of all of this. Like somebody who's like I almost kind of as freaky as it is, I want somebody who's turned on by me in and out of drag. Because I want someone who's gonna wanna like kind of like fuck me in the parking lot as well.
Right. I feel that.
That makes me sound like the horniest like fucking bitch in the world. But it's true. Like I am. Like I can't help it. Like so well, okay. I know as a top you'd want to have sex every day. What about at the bottom?
Oh, I want him to dominate the fuck out of me.
Every day?
I want him to wake me up with his cock in my mouth. I've already given him permission. I was like, wake me up with you slowly entering me. And he's like, oh my God. And I was like, whatever I'm doing, tell me to open my fucking mouth and face fuck me. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like, that's how sub I've been.
I kind of that to me is hot. Like I love that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm your sex toy. I was like, I'm here to make you happy.
There's and see that's why because like when you're opening up to somebody that much, they're the one. Like they have to
I
be
tell
like
you a secret, because I know he won't hear this part. I'm
right.
in love with him.
Oh,
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean that's so sweet. Like so okay with this like now that you're doing OnlyFans. Now that you're with somebody, would he be jealous of you doing collabs with somebody else?
I don't know, but I've also never done a collab.
But you have people that you want to, even though like you're in a relationship, you want to with certain people. And this is my view on it. It doesn't make you a bad person to say that. Like,
Me and that person I battle, I know one of the people you're referencing.
yes,
I don't like, I think they're beautiful. I think they're funny. I
right,
found out that they're very educated, which I did not expect that because they, you know what I mean?
right, right.
Not
We
like
had
that they're
we
dumb or anything, just how pretty they are and the industry you just don't expect right away.
right.
Yeah. But I couldn't have sex with them. Isn't that weird? I see them as too much of a friend now. Like I feel like I almost friend zone them. Does that make sense? Like it feels like I'd be fucking my family, which I guess is kind of hot, but not the family members I want to fuck. Like
No, that's me. Like we're like we're family, but Spencer wants to fuck me, and I'm fine with that. Like, because at least for me, this is literally the quote of the century from me, in my view. Which is, as I always say, if you don't want to fuck your friends, then you have ugly friends. Like, it's literally that simple. And it's like, hell, like, this is the thing. I'm not going to say which friend. It's not you. But, like, I jerked off to one of my friends this morning. Like, I did. And, like, I don't feel any qualms about it. Like, they're like a go-go dancer, stripper. Like, they were wearing one of those hot outfits that made their ass look great. Of course, like, there should be no shame. Like, there's so much shame with, oh, I can never have sex with my friends. I can never do this. I can never do that. It's like you are lying through your teeth. If some of your friends approached you, you would say yes. You know it. Like, don't fucking lie to me. Like,
you know what's kind of crazy?
what?
Everyone always says to me, you know the one, I'm not going to say who's the most beautiful one I battle. Everyone knows he's gorgeous. He looks like a model. He's the person I battle 3 times every night. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So, like, everyone was always like, oh my God, swooning. And I'm like, he's like, obviously he's gorgeous. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But, like, when he told me he had a boyfriend right away, I've never seen him like that. Not even in the beginning, because like I have to get to know someone, but I've never had anything like that to him. And I think that's one of the reasons we really respect each other because we have that boundary that we don't even
See,
think about crossing. Like there's not even a thought about it.
right. See, I know who you're talking about, and like there was a time I wouldn't now just because I know his personality, but that thing that you say with your boyfriend, see, this is where Twonk and I differ, where it's like he would say no. I'd be like, well, bring your boyfriend along. Like that's the difference between us. Like it's like I can handle two people at once. Like, please, this ain't my first rodeo. Oh,
Say your first bareback rodeo.
no, the
No, but
crazy.
like I think this is gonna sound horrible, The only one, if I were, because I don't want to fuck any of the streamers. If you notice, I usually just talk to the viewers.
Right.
Um, the only one I could ever see myself not feeling cringe with would be Timbo. And I don't know why. I think it's because he's always had that, like, I'm a fuck everyone personality. So he started off flirting, which Tyler, like me and became just friends. Like, I could not have sex
Right.
with any of those streamers except for Timbo, not even Matthew Lush. Like, I find them all beautiful, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, how to
See,
explain, like, you could find somebody to be at a 10 out of 10, but because of your friendship and relationship,
right.
it's 0 when it comes to wanting to fuck.
This is where I get what you're saying. To that, I'm gonna plead the fifth because, well, you know why. Because you know why.
Yeah.
But it's just in terms of this is the thing. I think it depends on like how close you get with somebody. Because like I think, well, this is honestly where you and I differ. Like I fucked my best friend before. Like that's honestly like for me, that's kind of like boundaries. My thing is I'm good till you get to like cuddling. I feel like cuddling is a little too close. Like cuddling and kissing are like the two things where it's like you don't. So again, this is what I said before. Have sex like a prostitute, meaning like you fuck them, they leave, you're done.
Right.
If you want to have sex with your friends, it's what you do. Like have them go out on the couch, like, and you lie in the bedroom and watch TV, and you like pretend like they're not there. Which everyone's like, that sounds not romantic. That's because it's not. it's
Exactly. That's the point.
yeah, it's like that's the point. I don't want to be like romantic with somebody that I'm having. Well, it's weird. It's like I think what like screwed up my mind a lot, and it took me a while to like get past this, was being raped. It's something that I always go back to because it's like after you get raped by somebody, you have a different view of men, and you have a different view of yourself. And it took me years. That's why I used to be the person who's like, "Oh yeah, I just fuck anybody I want. I just have sex, all this da 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 da," because I was trying to fill a hole that, or I didn't value myself because I saw myself as like this stripper performer, whatever. This is this is like the weirdest thing. It's like the more clothes I've taken off, the more I've like valued myself as a person. It's crazy to think like that, but it's so true. Like I
Nothing
dress,
wrong with that thought process.
yeah, yeah. Like I dress half naked now, and I have more value in myself than ever. Like because, but yeah, I mean, to you, I mean, you also battle like when you do lives, you also battle going back to like them. You also battle a lot of sweet people,
A lot
except
of what?
for a lot of sweet people.
Yes.
Like except for two. You know one of them. I'll tell you the second one when we're off live. But it's like um or off this like, but yeah, I can see where because you're also too like you are a little too like them in that way because like in some ways I feel like I think of sex. I mean, I get it because like my feminine side comes out too because there's eventually I get to a point where the sex is when I feel the like sex started to be empty, I start to like back off because that's usually when I just feel that it's not good because like I don't know this like this is how I dealt with my isolation when I first moved out on my own again. I was having sex a lot, but it's because I wanted something physical to ignore the fact that I was alone. Which, I mean, theoretically, you're never alone. You have one, two dogs that like now depend on you. Well, at least they're old, so like you probably have like what, like maybe a year, 2 years before they're
Dead.
yeah.
This one, I would say about 2 years. This one, maybe 3 to 4, based on averages. You know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And well, then what do you? Well, no, you're gonna adopt some more dogs. That's honestly what's gonna. Although, are you one of the people that like takes a grace period before you would
Nope.
get another?
Next day. Next day. Too many
That
need a home.
well, my thing is, I almost feel like there's no, and I'm not judging you for this. I have to say this before I say this. It almost sounds like you don't feel any sort of like loss with that if you get another dog. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think it would give me a reason to go on. Does that make sense?
Well, okay. Well, then I guess it's almost like I guess like losing a dog is different than like losing a human, at least in my mind, because like that's what I always tell people when I like talk about losing my mom. It's like, well, now this was the point that I always pointed out to my dad when we'd have these conversations. I'm like, yeah, you lost a wife. You can go get another wife tomorrow. I can never get another mom. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I had. And the one thing that I always tell people is like, in some ways, a lot of ways, and this is upon self reflection recently, was when I tell people, yes, my mom died when I was 18, but she got sick when I was like, she first got cancer when I was 15. So it's like, theoretically, I lost my mom when she was when I was 15 years old
For
because
3 years straight, you lost your mom every day.
yeah, yeah, I lost my mom, and then when she finally died, it's like now everyone just expects you to be this like well put together adult at 18 years old. I There was so much. I had like the craziest time because like literally 3 months after my mom died, I came out. So like I had like a whole whirlwind of stuff going on. And then I got locked in the behavioral clinic. So I had like a lot of shit going on at the same time. So I never really took the time to stop and think about that because I was very go, go, go. And even through my 20s, I look at like the anger that I had towards people, and I'm like, I'm an angry individual because I can't control everything. Because now, upon like looking back at it, it's like because I never honestly grew up when I was 15. So that's why at 30, I'm finally starting to put the pieces together. And I know a therapist would have done this a lot faster than I am. A therapist would have taken 15 years like I did, but I don't believe in therapy. Well, I shouldn't say I don't believe in therapy. I believe in putting my pain in my art.
There's only one way to reach the heart. You have to start in one hole.
Yes. And it's like, that's why now I feel, at least for me, it's why I haven't written music recently, is because I have nothing to say. Like, I've said what I need to, and the moment I feel that door open, I'm ready. Like, but you can't rush stuff. I mean, ooh, as a like TikTok creator, meme creator, and all that stuff, do you ever feel rushed to do things because you have to
Yes.
keep?
Yes. insanely rushed, and it's one of the worst feelings ever. It's
because
not even a normal rush. It's like it's life or death rush of your like social career.
because it's almost like, and this is the conversation I had with you, which was, as I tell people, I'm like, if you're doing stuff for the numbers, you're not doing it for the right reasons. Like, you really just don't.
I'm doing
Um,
it for the numbers.
but
I'll admit that.
well, why are you doing it for the numbers? Like,
I So like backstory, growing up, my mom always wanted to be famous. I'm talking about like cutting out like the People magazine clips when I come back from college. She'd be like, "Did you see what Jennifer Aniston said? I left it on your bed." That kind of thing.
right?
And being the ugly, unfunny kid growing up where everyone like just had comments on you negatively. I just remember seeing Zac Efron and people like that. And I'm like, I want people to be friends with me. I want people to like me. So then it became like, what can I do to become famous? So then people could look up to me, but I'll actually be nice, unlike these other fucks.
See, this is where I can say I was at one point doing it for the fame, and I have since stopped that mentality because I realized, and what you might realize one day, you're probably not there yet, but the reason you're doing it for the numbers is because you think the numbers are going to fill the hole of your mom not being there. That's honestly why you're doing it. Like, I'm being so like honest now. That's why you're doing it, and you're going to get to a point where that's not going to be enough. And once you do, you're going to find a new way to create. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, do it. But honestly, if you honestly want artistic fulfillment, you can't do it for the numbers. You have to do it for yourself. That's why even the music I'm writing now, I'm writing stuff where I actually have to sing. I'm writing stuff with vocal runs. Nobody sings anymore. Like, even musicians who you think like Chapel Roan, Olivia Rodrigo, all this, nobody fucking sings. Like, nobody has the talent to sing. So they're all putting out minimalist garbage. And I'm sitting there like saying, I can do minimalist garbage, but watch me do this vocal run on this, and that, and that, and there. And it's liberating. That's why I moved to Detroit. Like, I thought about moving to LA. I also thought about moving to LA. But I'm like, to have to sit there and tell the untalented bitch, "Oh my god, babe, I love you. You're my friend. You did amazing work. I'm totally gonna support you. Everything. Put out your new single. Love it, bitch."
That's not you.
That's not me. I'd be like, why the fuck do you not have a friend to tell you that you fucking suck?
But you're like
Like,
you're a real bitch. You remember you came into my
yeah,
live and you were like, most recent video, not funny. And I'm
yeah,
like, thank you for the input.
yeah,
Instead of saying, oh, it was great, then I'm just gonna continue with mediocrity.
yeah. It's because I don't want to gas somebody up because like that's the worst to like gas somebody up and like just sit there and have them believe that they're doing amazing. Why? Why?
So they
Because
could continue to do bad, then they're never gonna have growth.
no, that's why. What is it? The other reason why I couldn't move to LA is because I feel like the guys twerking in West Hollywood in the middle of the street, I feel like that get annoying at some point. And I'd have to sit there with like I would drive my car with like one of the vaudeville hooks in the back and just out the window and like
I love that.
it's like I'm doing this for you. Stop twerking on the street. Like,
Don't hate me. I have to run to
yes.
Walmart in a few.
No, no, no. I know.
Can
We
you
got
believe how fast this flew?
I know.
Like,
I told you I could talk to you for 6 hours. I know. You gotta get done and I gotta get out of my makeup to like relax for a bit before I have to get ready to do my next interview. I understand.
It makes
Yes.
podcasting so easy because we have that like
Yeah.
bond
Yes. Love you. I know, I do. And it's like, yes. So I will see you.
in a
I'll talk
few
to you.
hours,
Yeah.
probably.
Yes. So I will end this. This is Gay Out the City. I will definitely be seeing you in your live. Probably after I'm done. If you're there. I have a timetable to stick to with the next guest. So it's actually going to only be an hour and a half. I have a timetable to stick to. They gave me that. I'm like, okay,
Gotcha.
yes. So with that being said, this is Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and I hope you've enjoyed.